Dreams are the seeds of greatness. Everything extraordinary that has ever been accomplished began as a simple thought, a vision, a dream that someone dared to believe in. The question is, do you dare to dream big? Do you have the courage to envision something greater than your current reality, something so powerful that it fuels your every step? Because the truth is, the size of your dream determines the size of your future. Too often people limit themselves before they even begin. They shrink their dreams to match their fears instead of stretching their faith to match their potential. They look at their circumstances, at the obstacles in front of them, and convince themselves that dreaming big is unrealistic. But let me tell you something. There is no power in small dreams. Small dreams don't inspire you to wake up early and stay up late. Small dreams don't challenge you to push past your comfort zone. Small dreams don't change the world. Think for a moment about the people who have left a lasting impact on history. The inventors, the pioneers, the leaders who changed the course of humanity. None of them started with certainty. None of them had a clear path laid out before them. What they did have was a dream, one so big that it consumed them, one so bold that people called them crazy. They weren't the most talented, the wealthiest, or the luckiest. What set them apart was their willingness to dream beyond what others thought was possible. But dreaming big isn't just about seeing something in your mind. It's about believing in it so strongly that it becomes real to you long before it happens. It's about having a vision so clear and compelling that it pulls you forward, even when the road gets tough. Because let me tell you, the road will get tough. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when the voices around you tell you to settle, to be realistic, to lower your expectations. And that's when you have a choice. Will you shrink back, or will you stand firm in your dream? You see, a big dream will demand more from you. It will require you to grow, to stretch, to become someone you've never been before. It will test your patience and your persistence. But it will also awaken something inside of you, a fire, a passion, a sense of purpose that makes life worth living, because the most dangerous thing is not failing, it's never trying. It's waking up one day years from now and realizing you never truly went after what was in your heart. Now you might be sitting here thinking, but what if I fail? And I say, what if you don't? What if you succeed beyond your wildest imagination? What if the only thing standing between you and your dream is the courage to take the first step? Because dreams don't belong to the most talented. They don't belong to the most educated or the most privileged. They belong to those who refuse to give up, to those who keep going when others quit, to those who are willing to believe in something greater than themselves. So let me ask you, what is the dream inside of you? Not the one that feels safe, not the one that others approve of, but the one that truly sets your soul on fire, the one that makes your heart beat faster just thinking about it. That's the one you need to chase. That's the one you need to fight for. And don't wait for the perfect moment, because it will never come. Don't wait for the conditions to be just right, because they won't be. If you have a dream, start now. Start where you are with what you have, and trust that every step forward will bring you closer. Dream boldly, dream relentlessly. And when the world tells you that your dream is too big, too impossible, too far out of reach, smile, because that's how you know it's worth chasing. Belief is the foundation of every great achievement. You can have the biggest dream in the world, but if you don't believe in yourself, it won't matter. If you don't believe that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you have what it takes, then you will never take the steps necessary to turn that dream into reality. Because the truth is, no one else can believe for you. No one else can carry that vision for you. You have to own it. You have to know deep in your heart that you are created for something more, that you have a purpose, that your life is not an accident. But too many people live their lives doubting themselves. They look at their past, their mistakes, their weaknesses, and they think, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't have the right background, the right resources, the right connections, and they talk themselves out of their own destiny before they even try. Let me tell you something. The people who succeed in life are not always the most talented, the most gifted, or the most privileged. They are the ones who refuse to give up. They are the ones who, despite the odds, despite the obstacles, choose to believe. Because belief is powerful. It shapes the way you think, the way you act, the way you carry yourself. If you believe you're not capable, you'll live a life that reflects that belief. You'll settle for less. You'll shrink back when challenges come. But if you believe that you are made for something greater, that you have something valuable to offer this world, that belief will give you the strength to keep going when everything around you tells you to quit. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but what if I've failed before? What if I've tried and it didn't work? Let me tell you something. Failure does not define you. Your mistakes do not define you. What defines you is what you do next. Will you let failure stop you, or will you learn from it and keep moving forward? Every great success story is filled with moments of failure, moments of doubt, moments of struggle. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not that they never failed, it's that they never stopped believing. Think about a child learning to walk. They don't get it right the first time. They stumble, they fall, they struggle to find their balance. But do they ever sit down and say, well, I guess walking isn't for me? No, they keep getting up. They keep trying until one day they take that first step, and once they do, they never go back. That's the kind of belief you need to have in yourself. You may stumble, you may fall, but as long as you get back up, you are still in the race. Some of you have been carrying dreams in your heart for years, but you've been too afraid to take the first step because you don't believe you have what it takes. But let me tell you something. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know every step of the journey. You just have to start. You just have to take that first step in faith, believing that as you move forward, the way will become clear. And don't expect everyone to believe in you. Don't wait for the approval of others, because there will always be people who doubt you, people who question your ability, people who try to convince you to stay where you are. But their doubt does not have to be your reality. Their opinion does not have to shape your future. If you wait for the world to validate you before you believe in yourself, you will be waiting forever. So today, make the decision to believe. Believe that your life has a purpose. Believe that your dreams are possible. Believe that you are stronger than your fears, greater than your failures, and more capable than you ever imagined. And when the voice of doubt tries to creep in, silence it with the truth. You were made for more. You have something to give. You have something to accomplish. You are enough. So stand tall, walk boldly, and never let fear or doubt steal the destiny that belongs to you. Dreams are powerful. Belief is essential, but without action, neither of them will take you anywhere. You can have the greatest vision in the world, the strongest faith, the deepest passion, but if you don't take the steps to bring that dream to life, it will always remain just a dream. Action is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. Action is what turns possibilities into realities. Too many people spend their lives waiting for the right moment, waiting for the perfect conditions, waiting until they feel ready. But let me tell you something. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. There will never be a perfect time. There will always be challenges, always be obstacles, always be reasons to delay. But the people who succeed, the people who make an impact, are the ones who start anyway. They step out in faith, not because they have all the answers, but because they know that movement is the key to progress. Some of you have been carrying a dream in your heart for years, maybe even decades, but you haven't moved on it yet. Maybe you've convinced yourself that you need more preparation, more knowledge, more resources. Maybe you've told yourself that once circumstances change, once life settles down, then you'll finally go after it. But let me ask you, how much time have you already lost? How many opportunities have already passed you by because you hesitated? The truth is, the only way to make progress is to take the first step. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take one step at a time. That first step might be small. It might be uncertain. But the moment you take it, something shifts. You begin to break through the fear, the doubt, the hesitation that's been holding you back. Some of you are afraid of failure. You don't want to start because you're afraid you might not succeed. But let me tell you, the only real failure is never trying. Every successful person you admire, every great leader, every inventor, every visionary, they all face failures along the way. The difference is they didn't let failure stop them. They used it as a stepping stone. They learned from it. They adjusted their course and kept moving forward. Think about an athlete training for a race. They don't wake up one morning and suddenly run a marathon. They start by running short distances. They push themselves a little further each day. They train consistently, even on the days they don't feel like it. And over time, their endurance builds, their strength grows, and they are able to accomplish what once seemed impossible. Your dreams work the same way. You don't wake up one day and suddenly find yourself living the life you envision. You build toward it step by step, day by day, through consistent effort and determination. And let me tell you, action creates momentum. The more you move, the easier it becomes to keep moving. The hardest part is starting, but once you do, once you break through that first wall of fear and hesitation, something amazing happens. You begin to see progress. You begin to realize that you are capable, that you are stronger than you thought, that you can do more than you. Don't let fear paralyze you. Don't let excuses rob you of your destiny. Don't let another day go by without taking a step toward the dream that's been placed inside of you. Because there's someone out there who needs what you have to offer. Someone whose life will be changed because you had the courage to act. So take the step, make the call, write the book, start the business, have the conversation. Do whatever it is that you've been putting off, because today is the only guarantee you have. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Start now. Start where you are with what you have, and trust that as you move forward, the path will unfold before you. Your dream is possible. Your vision is within reach. But it won't happen on its own. It's time to stop waiting. It's time to start moving. And when you do, you'll realize that everything you've been hoping for is closer than you ever imagined. Failure is not the end of the road. It is not the final chapter of your story. It is not proof that you are incapable, unworthy, or that your dream was never meant to be. No, failure is a teacher. It is a stepping stone. It is one of the most valuable tools for growth if you are willing to see it that way. The problem is too many people let failure define them. They try once, stumble, and then convince themselves that they were never meant to succeed. They take rejection as a sign to quit. They take setbacks as proof that they weren't good enough. And so they give up on their dreams, not because they lacked potential, but because they misunderstood failure. Some of the most successful people in the world have failed more times than they can count. The difference is they didn't let failure stop them. They didn't see it as the end. They saw it as part of the journey. They used it to learn, to improve, to adjust their course, and come back stronger. That is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's resilience. Think about a young child learning to ride a bike. They don't get it right the first time. They fall, they scrape their knees, they wobble and lose balance. But do they give up? No, they get back on that bike. They keep trying because they know that falling is part of learning. And eventually they master it. The same principle applies to life. If you want to reach your dreams, you have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to fall down and get back up again. Because if you stop every time you encounter a setback, you will never move forward. Some of you have let past failures keep you stuck. Maybe you tried something and didn't work out, and now you're afraid to try again. Maybe you stepped out in faith, believing in a dream, and it didn't happen the way you expected. And now, instead of pushing forward, you've settled for less. But hear me today. Failure is not final unless you quit. A closed door is not the end of your story. A rejection is not the final word. It is simply part of the process. If you learn from it, if you grow from it, if you refuse to let it break you, then failure will become one of your greatest assets. Think about how gold is refined. It has to go through fire, through intense heat, to remove the impurity. The pressure, the fire, the difficulty, it's not there to destroy it, but to make it purer, stronger, more valuable. And the same is true for you. The trials you face, the failures you encounter, they are not meant to break you. They are meant to shape you, to refine you, to prepare you for something greater. Because if success came easily, you wouldn't appreciate it. If everything worked out perfectly the first time, you wouldn't develop the strength, the wisdom, the perseverance that is necessary to sustain the dream when it finally becomes reality. So don't run from failure. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Don't let a setback convince you that you aren't capable. Instead, learn from it, adjust your approach, keep going, because every failure brings you one step closer to success if you refuse to give up. And let me tell you something. The enemy of success is not failure. The enemy of success is fear. Fear of failing, fear of looking foolish, fear of what others might say. But if you let fear control you, you will never reach your destiny. You cannot let the fear of failure keep you from trying. You cannot let one disappointment cause you to give up on something that was meant for you, because the only real failure in life is never trying at all. So today, make the decision to embrace failure as part of the process. Make the decision to learn from your mistakes instead of being defeated by them. Make the decision that no matter how many times you fall, you will always get back up. Because if you keep going, if you refuse to quit, if you use every failure as fuel to push you forward, then nothing will be able to stop you from reaching the dream that has been placed inside of you. Who you surround yourself with matters. The voices you listen to, the people you spend time with, the ones you allow to speak into your life, they all have an impact on the way you think, the way you see yourself, and ultimately the way you pursue your dreams. You cannot expect to live a life of faith and boldness if you are constantly surrounded by negativity and doubt. You cannot expect to reach your highest potential if you are constantly feeding your mind with too many dreams have died, not because they were impossible, but because they were placed in the wrong environment. Some of you have allowed people into your life who are not helping you grow. Instead of encouraging you, they tear you down. Instead of pushing you forward, they hold you back. And maybe they don't even do it intentionally. Maybe they love you, maybe they mean well, but their own fears, their own insecurities, their own limited thinking is shaping the way they speak to you. And if you're not careful, you will start believing their doubts, you will start lowering your expectations, you will start playing it safe because that's what everyone around you is doing. But hear me today. If you want to go higher, you have to be willing to change your environment. You have to be intentional about the voices you listen to. You have to surround yourself with people who believe in you, people who challenge you to grow, people who remind you of what is possible. Because the truth is, we become like the people we spend the most time with. If you are constantly around complainers, you will start to complain. If you are constantly around people who make excuses, you will start making excuses. But if you surround yourself with people who dream big, who take action, who live with faith and confidence, that mindset will start to rub off on you. Now, that doesn't mean you cut people out of your life completely. It doesn't mean you stop loving your family or stop talking to old friends. But it does mean that you guard your heart. It means that you are intentional about what influences you, because if you are not careful, negativity will creep in without you even realizing it. One negative comment, one discouraging word, one seed of doubt planted in your mind, and before you know it, you've started questioning your own potential. Think about an eagle. An eagle soars high above the storms, above the distractions. It does not fly with the crows. It does not stay low to the ground like chickens. It was made for greater heights, and so are you. You were not meant to stay grounded by fear, by doubt, by the limitations of those around you. You were meant to rise. But if you want to fly like an eagle, you cannot spend all your time with people who are afraid of leaving the ground. Some of you have dreams that require a different level of thinking. Some of you have a vision for your life that demands growth, that demands courage. But you will never get there if you keep listening to voices that tell you it's not possible. You will never step into your purpose if you keep surrounding yourself with people who don't believe in you. And let me tell you, not everyone will understand not everyone will understand your vision, and that's okay. Your dream was given to you, not to them. Your calling is your responsibility, not theirs. But what you can do is make sure you are feeding your mind with the right things. Read books that inspire you. Listen to messages that strengthen your faith. Spend time with people who remind you of your purpose. And if you don't have those people in your life right now, seek them out. Find mentors, find leaders, find communities that will help you grow. Because the right environment will make all the difference. Your dream is too important to let it be drowned out by negativity. Your purpose is too valuable to let it be weakened by doubt. So be intentional, be wise, surround yourself with voices that lift you higher, and watch how your life begins to change. A dream is not just something you chase for yourself. A dream is not just about success, about personal achievement, about reaching a goal and standing on top of the mountain alone. No, a dream is bigger than that. A dream is meant to serve a greater purpose. A dream is meant to impact the lives of others. Because if your dream is only about you, it's too small. If your vision only benefits you, then you are missing the bigger picture. The greatest dreams are the ones that lift others up, that bring hope, that make the world a little better than it was before. Some people spend their whole lives chasing something, thinking that once they get there, once they achieve that level of success, they will finally feel fulfilled. But true fulfillment does not come from what you accomplish for yourself. It comes from what you give. It comes from knowing that because of your life, someone else has hope. Because of your dream, someone else has been inspired to keep going. Because of your vision, someone else has been lifted out of a dark place and reminded that there is something greater ahead. Look at the people who have made the biggest impact in history. The ones who changed the world, the ones who left a legacy. They weren't just focused on themselves. They had a dream that was bigger than them. They lived for something beyond their own comfort, beyond their own success. And that is what made them great. Because true greatness is not about how high you climb, but about how many people you bring with you. True success is not measured by what you gain, but by what you give. Some of you have been given dreams that are meant to bring healing. Some of you have a vision that is meant to restore hope to the broken, to lift up the weary, to encourage those who feel like giving up. But if you focus only on yourself, you will never see the full potential of what your dream was meant to be. Because dreams are not just about the destination, they are about the journey. And on that journey, you will have opportunities to touch lives in ways you never expected. You'll have moments where your story, your struggles, your victories become the light that someone else needs to keep going. Maybe you feel like your dream is too small to make a difference. Maybe you think, I'm just one person. What can I really do? But never underestimate the power of one life. One word of encouragement can change someone's future. One act of kindness can ripple out in ways you will never see. One person choosing to believe, choosing to take action, choosing to live with purpose, that can inspire a generation. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to have a huge platform. You just have to be willing to use what you have, where you are, for something greater than yourself. And let me tell you, when you live with that kind of purpose, you will find a joy that success alone could never give you. You will find a peace that money could never buy. Because at the end of the day, what truly matters is not how much you achieved, but how much you loved. Not how much you gained, but how much you gave. Not how high you climbed, but how many lives you touched along the way. So whatever dream you are carrying, don't just think about what it can do for you. Think about what it can do for others. Think about how your life can be a blessing, how your journey can be an inspiration, how your vision can bring light into someone else's darkness. Because when you live that way, when you dream that way, your life will never be small. Your impact will never fade. And long after you are gone, the seeds you planted, the lives you touched, the difference you made, it will continue to grow far beyond anything you could have imagined.